As has become their custom, Dak, the Kroot outcast, brought the robot UR-025 with him to do some trading. Dak was offered some potentially valuable contraband, but he turned it down, not wanting to make enemies of the local authorities. UR managed to trade for some random spare parts, which could come in handy if they needed to repair any of their gear in the future. Marius and Vespasian did some aerobic training together, trying to stay in shape and increase their stamina. Vespasian knew they would need to travel to another world in the system to complete their current goal of learning more about the valuable goods being smuggled between worlds. However, they obviously would not be able to depart until their leader, the rogue trader Ferdinand Turgidson, returned from his personal errands. In the meantime, Vespasian thought it would be wise to try to raise a little extra money to fund their journey. Vespasian, therefore, sent Amalia, the Eldar explorer, to seek out any lucrative job offers. She was offered several potential jobs. Vespasian chose a mission funded by a private organization. They needed a package delivered, but complicating matters was the fact that the destination was in an area controlled by a group of isolationists, in open rebellion against the planetary government. Delivering a package into an active war zone sounded like just the job for Ferdinand's crew. Unfortunately, before reaching their destination, the crew encountered a small scouting party of the rebel isolationists amongst some blasted ruins. Dak and Amalia spread out to the left and right, respectively, hoping to find good firing positions from which to provide covering fire with their long-ranged rifles. Marius, Vespasian, and UR-025 planned to advance straight toward the patrolling soldiers and punch through to their destination. Before they had even been spotted by the patrolling isolationists, Ferdinand's crew prepared for battle and advanced toward their enemies. Dak moved the swiftest, climbing over some ruins to get closer to his adversaries. The isolationists then spotted the intruders and cautiously advanced toward them. Two of the soldiers took shots at Marius through a window, but due to the intervening cover and the dense fog, their shots missed. Marius fired back, and with an incredible shot, he downed one of the isolationists. Another of the undisciplined rebels immediately panicked and fled. Amalia, UR, and Vespasian sprinted towards their enemies, trying to find good firing positions. Amalia found herself in the open, so she paused to aim her rifle down the alley, watching for any enemy movement. In the center, the isolationists moved toward UR and fired. A shot struck the robot, causing some cosmetic damage, but barely slowing it down. Another of the militants rounded a building to take a shot at Amalia from the corner, but she was ready for him and reacted first. She fired her rifle before he could get off a shot, and her well-placed shot took another of the isolationists out of the fight. UR recovered quickly from the damage he took and fired back at the nearby enemy with the chainsword, killing the assailant in a hail of fire. Vespasian sprinted toward the next section of cover, while Marius gunned down another of the isolationists with his plasma gun. Dak got distracted by some nearby storage crates, and he looted a frag vest from one of them. Expecting more trouble, Amalia kept her rifle pointed at the corner of the building ahead of her. As she had expected, another enemy rounded the corner. They fired at each other, but both shots just missed their targets. The rest of the crew, unaware of Amalia's precarious situation, could see no more of the enemy and ran forward, still careful to make use of the ruins as cover, in case they ran into more trouble. Before Amalia could even get off another shot, the final remaining isolationist lost heart and fled into the tangled ruins, no doubt feeling lucky to have survived the encounter, after Amalia's near miss. After the brief skirmish, the crew encountered no further resistance from the rebels, and were able to successfully deliver their cargo to its destination, receiving full pay from their patron. They also managed to find some starship parts on the battlefield that they took with them, thinking they might come in handy. Upon returning to their hangar, the crew discovered Ferdinand's ship had been damaged while they were gone, presumably sabotaged by one of the groups they had made enemies of. Shortly thereafter, Ferdinand returned from his time away, accompanied by a new servo skull, and with no explanation of what personal errand had kept him away for the past 2 weeks. Vespasian quickly filled Ferdinand in on what they had learned about the local smuggling operation, informing him that they would need to travel to another world in the system to find the answers they sought. However, due to the damage to Ferdinand's ship, it wouldn't be safe to travel the void until it had been repaired, which would take at least another week. Ferdinand hired some mechanics to repair the ship and decided that he would make the best of it and try to make some money to offset the cost of the repairs while they waited.